Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham. I have my co-host Luke Timmons with me today. This is episode 6 of Turkey Talk. Luke, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. Doing good. It's been down here in southeastern Minnesota. It's been rainy and windy and a little bit of sunshine here and there. But
lots of rain.
What do you do? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of been like a catch-22 of a season so far. Like I got Noah his first bird opening weekend, and then they're starting to break up a little bit. And I actually missed one. How many nights ago was that? A few nights back. And
okay.
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, I screenshotted it, and you can literally see on the camera. I mean, I missed his neck by half an inch. It's, what do you do? But he was
woes of bow hunting.
Yeah, exactly. He was probably, I mean, he came out of the woods, probably 300 yards away, and I hit him right, or 300 yards away, hit him with a pot call, and stopped on a dime, kind of was looking around, started to like kind of feed, and I hammered it again, and he just started working it on a rope. And hindsight, he probably saw me move when I started to pull back, so he wasn't quite behind the, piece of the blind that comes up, but trying to monkey the camera with my foot and pull back at the same time was interesting. So it's a learning experience. I'm glad I didn't, accidentally wound him or something. So it was a good clean miss, and such is life. On to the next one.
Well, tell me about that. I mean, you're new into the world of filming your hunts, I would say. I mean, I know you have some experience doing that for deer hunting.
Yeah, very
but
green.
Tell me about what it's like trying to multitask now, because technically, I guess this would be kind of your first year filming for turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how's that going?
Yeah, so self-filming is definitely a challenge. I mean, in a blind, you obviously get away with a lot more, and if you were trying to like run and gun or something. But, I got like the GoPro set up in front of me with a little remote on my wrist that I can hit record and do that. And I like doing it. Like, it's obviously a lot easier when you're filming somebody else, because you can just focus on the camera, and not have to worry about the camera and the thing. But yeah, he was probably 10, 15 yards away when I started to try and pull back. And I was like halfway pulled back, looked over, and I could see he was just out of frame. So I kind of just like put my foot up and just kind of tried to scoot the tripod arm over just enough so I could do it. But all that movement between me pulling back, kicking at the camera, and the camera maybe moving slightly, he kind of boogered back to, I don't know, 20, 25 yards, quartering away, walking. And you can see the knock, and
just missed him.
So, I mean, if like I said, half inch to the right, and he would have been gonzo. So
gotta start shooting guillotines.
I know. Yeah, I actually just picked up some new Rage No Collar Plus P. So I haven't used those before yet, but they're like more of they must be newer, at least to me, but they're like more precision. So it's almost like shooting target points, which will be kind of fun to try. So I'll be taking those out. I'm going to try and sneak out after work again tonight and see if I can't get them before they come back to the roost and cut them off. And I don't think I boogered it too bad, but we'll see what happens.
Well, you've been the one that's been in the field getting after it. I mean, have you noticed with, all this, we've had a couple nice days here and there, but, we're already into the third season here into Minnesota. And just tell me a little bit like what you've seen from mornings to evenings. Is there's been certain things that have stuck out to you that have worked better? Because it definitely seems like you've been on birds just about every time that you've been out. Just, you've had a couple close calls now.
It's like an epiphany moment there. Yeah, so I've been mostly evenings, just with craziness of kids not sleeping and getting up early for work and everything else in between. But I forgot all about it. So did I talk about the paraglider incident yet?
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, no, I haven't. So it was just perfect hunt. Noah ended up coming out with me. I took our oldest out And so he's like almost 4. And we went out, we got in about 4 o'clock. So, I mean, it was going to be like a long 4 hour sit. And he did
Yeah.
great. All of a sudden, like, hour into it, couple hens came out, were feeding. So that was cool. And then a bunch of deer. I mean, there's probably 8 deer just out in this field, kind of all around.
Sure.
And these 2 toms came out. And they're kind of starting to work our way and then kind of work to back and then come back. And, they're just kind of feeding around. And it was getting to be kind of towards the end of the night. And these 2 of the deer walked literally like 20 yards from the blind, staring right at us. I'm like, if you're going to bust, just bust left and not back towards the turkeys, and spook them out. But they ended up just walking off, didn't care. And all of a sudden, like 3-4 more hens came out kind of behind us and it started feeding towards us. And if they would have kept coming, it would have been 15 yards.
Done deal.
Done deal. And the toms were following them on a rope. So I was just like, I'm not calling. I'm just sitting quiet. As soon as they come in, whack. They get to probably 70 to 100 yards to our south. And I could hear earlier there was like these paragliders that have like this engine, right? So picture like a guy in a little seat, basically like a parachute, and then a fan that pushes them around and they can fly around. And they flew over like a ways away earlier in the hunt. And then all of a sudden I could hear them again. And I'm like, crap. And I looked at Noah and I'm like, they're going to fly right over this field. And those turkeys are going to be a county over. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, I can't, out of all things, me,
that's a first.
Monkeying around with the camera with my foot, that's one thing. But to have 2 paragliders fly, a few hundred yards over the field, right over top of us, the turkeys were, I couldn't tell you how fast off they ran off. So, I said, it's been a season.
Out and waved to them.
Yeah, I did. they didn't know we were there. I kind of hung out the side of the blind and went like this, whatever.
How low were they?
A few hundred yards up, off the ground.
Crazy.
So, yeah. We've seen them in that area before, so it's not like anything new, but for them to flying over right like in that minute. Because if they would have came by 5 minutes later, we would have been picking a turkey probably off the field and waving at them. So,
oh boy, well that's a first.
That's a first. Yep. And so, what do you do on to the next hunt? But it's been an interesting season to say the least. But I've like I said, mostly hunted evenings, and I'm usually trying to cut them off between where I'm thinking they are, during the day, kind of out in the woods, and trying to cut them off into where I've been seeing them roost. So I'm on the X. It's just needing to,
stars need to align.
Exactly. But how about you? You been out yet?
I was able to take my father-in-law out this morning for the first time. It was actually the first time I have stepped foot in the turkey woods at all this season. So this is a first for me, of accepting priorities and other things that kind of have going on in life. And, I unfortunately kind of have a bum arm right now too. So I can't bow hunt. I think I could, but it's just not worth it. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to practice and feel proficient enough, especially with shooting my recurve and stuff, that I'd rather just go out with the shotgun. And, the nice thing that we have here in Minnesota is, if you don't kill one during your week during shotgun, you do get the last season, which I think is the 22nd through the 31st. But father-in-law got a tag. He wanted to get out and turkey hunt. And we, on let's see, I think it's the first day of the 3rd season is when he got his tag. And finally got one nice day. Like you're saying too, it's been raining. Like we've gotten at least, 2.5 inches of rain in the last week. So we had really bad thunderstorms the night going into that hunt that morning, and I just kind of had a sneaky suspicion that birds were going to be probably pretty quiet. But we went out and we heard some gobbles off on some distant private. We did see some turkeys. We saw 8 jakes. super skittish though.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean after about I don't know, it must have been 7 o'clock. There was zero gobbling.
Mm.
Birds shut off. Sun was just starting to kind of creep out, so we saw eight jakes. We drove around for a little bit. I think we ended up seeing like three or four toms out in the fields, but they're pretty skittish too. No birds out strutting around doing their thing, but it does look like we have some decent weather coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think next week would be season 4, and I think that's when I'm gonna get my tag, and then just kind of go from there. So I should have
Okay.
some turkey time in the woods. So coming up here, so I am excited to do the grind of getting up early and kind of getting boots on the ground and starting to scout. I know my daughter and I have been driving around a little bit in the truck at night,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to figure out where birds are roosted at on public up here, and just kind of cutting our teeth doing it that way. But it's been a pretty slow, weird start to the turkey season for me. So I've been kind of living through the lens of you and through other people, and it looks like
Yeah.
like Nick's had some success, and I know we've got a couple other buddies that had some success. Looks like Sam's had success, which is good, and
Mm-hmm.
all around the board, it seems like even like with Dan's been the turkey slaying machine for taking
Yeah.
people out. So kudos to you,
Definitely.
Dan. Good work.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we're just kind of getting under our belt here, especially throughout Minnesota here, just with the weather that we've been having. And I really think that these next probably 2-3 weeks, when we finally get some nice consistent warm weather with like
Mm-hmm.
good sunshine
Sun.
and stuff, that it's going to be good. So I
Yeah.
have been seeing a lot of hens though. That's the one thing I have noticed. I've seen a lot of hens out in ditches kind of doing their thing. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming that they're starting to kind of getting ready to nest, if not already in certain spots.
Sure.
So turkey hens should be getting good.
So with going off of just with the hens getting ready to nest and stuff, what sort of tactics change for you from, kind of early season to now kind of more mid season?
I really look at it. That's such a great opportunity when you get those hens in the morning. Like this morning was a good example of where it was dead quiet. No response to birds off the roost. Didn't hear any
Mm-hmm.
hens off the roost. Like I would have rather would have rather gone out at 10 o'clock probably than getting out right away in the morning, since those birds were off the roost late just because of the rain.
Sure.
They were probably meandering in the woods doing whatever they were doing. And now that these hens are starting to peel off a little bit and kind of do their own thing, it just leaves those guys kind of in desperation mode, to where they're
Mm-hmm.
they're they're still looking and trying to breed. And that's where I look at those midday hunts are just dynamite right now. If you can make it happen, unless you can get tight to the roost in the early season, that's where, I don't know, it's like my favorite time of year, middle of the season to the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
because birds are starting to break up, and you just got that, really good opportunity to get a group of toms or a tom by himself, where
Mm-hmm.
he's hopefully ready to play the game, because you've been in the same boat. It just takes
Yep.
one that wants to play and make it happen.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's just like that one the other night was he wanted to play. I just
Yep.
darn camera
Yep.
and me. But yeah, no, it's exciting and yeah, like you said, I mean they're talking another 3/4 of an inch of rain,
Mm-hmm.
I think, tomorrow, and then the weekend's supposed to be pretty solid, and then next week, I think, boy, another half inch to an inch of rain, and
Yep.
then kind of that later half of the week is going to be hopefully solid. It looks like mid 60s and sunshine. So
Well, the one
knock on
thing,
wood, it
it's
holds.
yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, I'll take all the rain we can get from the year that we had last year, where it was
Oh
just
right.
so incredibly dry.
Mm-hmm.
Even just getting a head start. I mean, I'm projecting here for what the next 2 weeks is going to look like. I'm hopefully going to be able to get my corn in the ground for this fall.
Mm.
So we'll have some other podcasts talking about food plotting and all that good stuff. But it's already that time of year where you should be thinking ahead for November. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's one thing that's on my priority list to get done and multitask probably well
Mm-hmm.
turkeying at some point in time. But I'm not upset with the rain. It's definitely hindering things maybe a little bit in the turkey woods, but turkeys like rain too. They just don't like,
Mm-hmm.
when you mix in high winds and thunderstorms, that makes it a little bit more difficult. But rain's, I'm not afraid of sitting in rain for turkeys.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, and then pushing it off a couple weeks, we're gonna be chasing them in the
Be
Black
chasing them in
Hills.
Black Hills, man.
So it's exciting.
It's gonna be good, and it's gonna go by fast. That's the crazy thing about it. I mean, we're already
Yeah.
3 weeks in now, and it's gonna be over before we know it. Unfortunately.
Yep. No, absolutely. And then, like you said, kind of led into it's food plot season slash summer, and
Yep.
so making lots of tweaks and changes for deer hunting coming up in the fall, and
Oh, for sure. That's
yeah.
the one. That's the one thing I wish I would have done this past fall. Looking back at it, of where I should have overseeded. I
Mm.
haven't been on the family farm yet to really do anything. I know my brother's been out a couple times, but would have been really nice to overseed some clover in those pre-existing food plots, and then
Sure.
just having a fresh batch of clover for the turkeys and some
Hmm.
chicory. They love it.
Oh yeah.
So we've got 3 barren food plots. We probably only do about, I don't know, about 3.5 acres down at the family farm every
Hmm.
year. So I mean, it's a little bit of work, just for turkeys, but when you love the turkey and why not have a food plot for the turkeys too?
No, absolutely. And like even Nick kind of touched on when we talked with him a few weeks back or a month ago, it's all part of it. You gotta,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it with episode 10 of being just stewards of the land, of taking care of not just the big game, but the
Yep.
small game and the turkeys and everything else in between. Because when you have a thriving population, of woods and of animals, it just helps out across the board, kind of
Oh, for
circle of life
sure.
stuff. Yeah.
And then that's been the one cool thing I have noticed, from a popularity perspective. Like, I kind of joke around about it for up here that not a lot of people turkey on it seems like, but maybe I
Mm.
was kind of wrong, because the more I've been talking to some locals and just people around, like everybody's been out turkey hunting, and there's turkeys literally everywhere. So I mean, it's good to know that they've kind of made a really big comeback here in central Minnesota, but I
Hmm.
know they're still thick and strong in southeastern Minnesota too. So
Oh yeah.
it's a lot of people. That's like we said that though before. It's hard when you jump on social media and you see everybody and their brother killing a bird besides you.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a matter of time, right?
Yep.
For sure. But no, it'll be good. I know you're going to be down here in a week or so next weekend and
Yep.
stuff. So it'll be fun to get out in the woods and get on some hunts together and
Heck yeah, man. That,
see
and
if
we
we
got
can't.
fishing opener coming up too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So do you have any big plans for that yet, or not really?
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. It's been a hot minute since we've done our kind of family tradition. Growing up as a kid, we really, every once in a while we'd go up to Pelican Lake with my dad and my
Mm-hmm.
uncles and stuff, and we would do that trip. Coming from southeastern Minnesota, going up to Pelican Lake, it's a journey. It's like 7.5, 8.5 hours, whatever it is. But now living here in central Minnesota, well, we've got lakes at our disposal anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is pretty nice. But we kind of had a family tradition with my wife's family where we'd go up to International Falls, and
Mm.
depending on ice out, we would either hit up Rainy, or we would go on the river, on Rainy River, just on the just west side of the dam there. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that is the plan as of now. It sounds like ice is out on
I
Rainy
was gonna say
Lake.
this year it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, right. But it sounds like ice is out here on Rainy Lake, so there's a chance we might go up and do that, or we might
Nice.
go to the river and fish the river. So it'll be good. I'm excited to. Not 100% sure yet if I'm gonna take the boat out yet. It's always kind of
Mm-hmm.
hard, for the boat that I've got. It's a perfect starter family boat, but
Mm-hmm.
getting in big water like that too. It's when you got two brother-in-laws that have you know brand new Rangers. It's kind of hard not to
Yeah,
want to go sit in that. But
for
it'll
sure.
be it'll be fun. I go catch some walleyes and enjoy the opener, and it's always a good time with that. And we usually do
Yeah.
really really well up there. So excited
Awesome.
to switch up pace and go do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then dive back into it and get after some turkeys.
Heck yeah, man. Should be fun. I'm excited to hear from that trip too. That'll be a good one.
Well, and I was gonna say, unfortunately, probably for you down in southeastern Minnesota, with all the rain that we've been having, trout streams are probably a little full.
I'd guess. I like I said, I haven't been down in a hot minute, so we'll I was just thinking about that this morning actually. I should get out and take
I would
Liam out,
I
but
would have to.
it's like a catch-22 because it's like I
Yeah.
need to kill a turkey too, so
Yep. Well, you can do both. That's like the perfect trifecta for me is either to turkey hunt in the morning, shoot a
mm,
turkey, or I shouldn't say trifecta, duo, either shoot a turkey in the morning and then go golf, or shoot a turkey in the morning and then go trout fishing, or do it at the same time. That's one thing I think it would be really sweet to do. Would be like a camp and hunt situation down in like Whitewater for turkeys. I think that'd be sweet to go. You can go fly fishing, or you can go fishing for trout, and then multitask and go smoke a turkey in the afternoon or something like that.
That'd be sick. Yeah, so maybe I'll sneak out this weekend. We'll see.
Nice.
We can't make it happen, but no, it should be good. And then it's like you said, it's gonna be a fast. It's gonna be a fast May.
It's gonna be fast. I mean, I feel like everybody, usually probably in our general age range, if not older, it's summers go by too fast. You know, you try to make plans with people, and it's just like, well, we're booked out through August, so it's like, what can you squeeze in? And it's gonna go by fast, but it'll be a fun ride though. So excited just to kind of get through it and just see what all happens. I mean, it'll be fun for us to get out to the Black Hills for a couple days and go chase some Merriams around, and then get back into the fishing, and then, like we said, get back into doing habitat work and food plots, and then before you know it, it's September.
Yep. Game on.
Oh yeah. Good deal. Yeah. Well, and like this one's going to be a short one for us. We just wanted to talk a little bit about what we've had kind of going on here, and like we'll probably have something a little bit more relative to what we have coming up here for our Black Hills hunt next week. But we definitely want to touch base and let you guys know again that make sure you are hashtagging Wild Faith for all your turkey adventures and entering in our sweepstakes that we have going on, because I believe, it's the 1st today, so on May 12th will be the deadline cutoff for the turkey contest that we have going on. So make sure that you are tagging us in your photos and you're posting. Once again, you do not have to have a Picasso type artwork of a photo, just a simple story that you are out and about chasing turkeys, either with your family, with your friends, with yourself, with a bird, whatever that might be. We'd love to see it and hear the story from you, and we'll get the contest going on the 12th, and it's going to be fun to kind of start voting and see who's going to get to the final two.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right. Well, like I said, this is a short one this week, guys, but looking forward to hopefully bringing you some more exciting news here in this upcoming week, and we'll have some more detailed stuff in terms of chasing Merriams out in the Black Hills here coming up before our trip. So thank you guys once again for everybody that listens, that subscribes. Make sure you can follow us on all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, any type of platform for podcasting. We're on them all. Be sure to give us a follow and a like, and leave us a 5-star review if you can. We really, really, truly appreciate all you that do listen. Like I said, we're start from scratch, and we're going to work our way up. So it's a progress in time, and like once again, we're learning as we go.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome.
Each day 1% better.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening again, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.